Before we get into this video, I would just like to give my disclaimer. I mean no harm or disrespect to anyone involved or affected by the contents of this video. This is all information I have gathered online and I'm compiling into this one video. In August 1892, an assailant rained 19 blows to the back of Abby Borden's head using a hatchet, before a further 11 more to the face of her sleeping husband, Andrew. A later medical examiner concluded that the couple had been killed roughly 2 hours apart from each other. At 6:15 that morning, the Bordens' live-in maid, Bridget O'Sullivan, also known as Maggie, went to gather firewood from the basement of their home at 92 2nd Street, Fall River in Massachusetts, USA. 10 minutes later, Abby Borden entered the kitchen, and by 7 a.m. she was joined at the breakfast table by her husband, Andrew. Soon after, Andrew's youngest daughter, Lizzy, arrived wearing a blue dress. Abby asked Bridget to go and wash the downstairs windows, and then to head upstairs to change the pillow slips in the guest bedroom. At 9 a.m., Andrew left to run some errands. He returned home around 10:30 a.m. Bridget heard Andrew struggling to unlock the main door and went to assist him. Bridget noticed the spring lock had been fastened, and she heard Lizzy laughing from upstairs. When Andrew entered the house, he went into the sitting room and Bridget continued with her work. Lizzy came downstairs and spoke to her father. Bridget overheard her say that Lizzy's stepmother, Abby, had received a note from a sick friend and that she had gone to visit her. Bridget moved to the dining room to wash the windows. She was soon joined by Lizzy, who started ironing some clothes and chatting while she did so. Feeling tired and nauseous, Bridget told Lizzy that she was going to take a nap and headed up the back stairs to her room. Lying on her bed, Bridget heard the City Hall bell chime at 11. Around 11:10 a.m., Bridget heard Lizzy call out to her. She shouted, "Come quick, Father's dead. Somebody came in and killed him." Bridget rushed downstairs to find Lizzy standing in the rear hallway. She told her that Andrew's murdered body was in the sitting room and asked her to go find Dr. Seabury Bowen. Unable to find him, Bridget soon returned. The Bordens' neighbour, Miss Adelaide Churchill, had come by to see what the fuss was about. She found Lizzy distraught and tried to comfort her. Lizzy explained that she had heard a groan coming from the house upon entering. She had found her father dead on the couch. When Miss Churchill asked about Abby's whereabouts, Lizzy told her that she was out visiting a friend. Shortly after, Bridget suggested that she should try and find Abby. Lizzy said she thought she'd heard her return. Bridget decided to check upstairs. As soon as her eyes were level with the landing, she saw Abby's bloodied corpse lying face down in the guest bedroom. At 11:45, the first police officers arrived. They began to search the house and found no signs of a break-in or burglary. The front and cellar doors were locked, although there was blood on the victim's ceiling and walls. There was no blood anywhere else. Bridget let an officer into the cellar where she had come across a box containing 2 axes plastered in blood and hair, a recently broken hatchet caked in ash. Lizzy was questioned by Deputy Marshal Fleet about her movements. Lizzy said she intended to spend the morning ironing clothes when her father had come home tired. She had taken off his shoes while he napped on the sofa. Lizzie went to the barn for approximately 15 to 20 minutes to look for lead to make fishing weights, and that she had not seen Abby leave to visit her sick friend. An officer inspected the barn to confirm Lizzie's alibi. It was humid and windless that day, and given the stifling heat in the barn, the officer doubted that she had spent as much time as she had claimed. The absence of footprints in the heavy dust supported his theory. On the 11th of August, Lizzie was arrested for the murders of her parents. Lizzie's alleged motive was that she suspected her father of writing her out of his will in favour of Lizzie's stepmother, Abby. At first it seemed that the case would not go to trial at the inquest. It was reported that a passing peddler had spotted a woman walking from the yard to the side door of the house, and this seemed to support Lizzie's alibi. A doctor from Harvard Medical School said the blood and hair on the axe was from a cow. A prison matron claimed to have overheard Lizzie saying, "Emma, you've given me away, haven't you?" This was said to Lizzie's older sister during a visit. Lizzie's best friend had told the inquest that she had seen Lizzie burning a blue dress in the kitchen stove days after the murders. This evidence was sufficient enough to charge Lizzie with the murders. Lizzie Borden's trial began in 1893. On the 20th of June, after just 90 minutes of deliberation, the jury reached a verdict of not guilty. Lizzie used her inheritance to buy a house on the affluent side of Fall River, which is where she later died in 1927. The Borden's unsolved murder remains a source of fascination. Many theories, some potentially possible but most laughable, have been preferred as to who killed them, how and why. Those who believe Lizzie is the culprit point to the evidence raised by the prosecution, her window of opportunity, the hot, dusty barn, and at least 30 inconsistent statements, and the burning of the blue dress. However, two crucial pieces of evidence stand out. Lizzie was the only person to have stood on the landing while her stepmother lay dead in the guest room, a scene that Bridget and Miss Churchill had come across immediately after ascending the stairs, and although Lizzie insisted she had removed her father's shoes as he dozed on the sofa, in the crime scene photo he is still wearing them. The Borden's side door, marked V, was unhooked from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Could an outsider have crept in, axed Abby, hidden for more than 90 minutes, then emerged to kill Andrew? So what do you really think happened on that fateful night? Was it Lizzie Borden who axed her stepmother and father, or was it a stranger with a small window of opportunity?